Welcome to Ink and Flame. I'm your host, Tina Kutras, and I'm sitting down with Kathryn Breaux to talk about Trial of Darkness. Hi, Kathryn. How are you?
Hello. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. The sun is shining and we're warming up to spring. We're in Nova Scotia, so we had a really cold winter. What was
I'm
yours
sure
like?
cold is an understatement, right?
Yeah. And where are you coming into us from?
Yeah, I am from Arkansas, born and raised here. Our winters are odd, honestly. I don't know if you know anything about weather in the South, but it's some days, and then today it is in the 40s. Tomorrow it is supposed to be in the 70s. So we have a bit of weather whiplash, honestly, and it happens a lot.
Yeah, I think we're kind of going through the same thing. I mean, I'm Celsius versus Fahrenheit, but we're definitely going through the same thing. Like today is quite warm, and by the end of the week, we're supposed to have snow. So,
And we don't get much snow, thankfully. I am not a snow person at all. So it maybe snows once a year, and I kid you not, we get like 3 inches maybe, and the entire state shuts down. We can't handle it. People are at the grocery stores getting the eggs, the milk, the all like total freak out in this state if it snows.
apocalypse conditions.
My gosh, yes. Everybody panics. Yes. So thankfully we don't get that a lot. We're past all the potential snow. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to spring, warmer weather, and to get outside. I'm getting like the cabin fever.
I imagine. Same
Yeah.
with me. I can't wait to be out there.
Yep.
And I think it's funny that I swear that people are okay with snow for like the first 2 weeks leading up to Christmas and after Christmas. And then after that, they're like, okay, go away now.
Go away. I'm done with you. I saw something the other day that made me laugh. It said, I am tired of complaining about it being cold. I'm ready to complain about it being hot now. And it's like, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm ready to complain.
Absolutely.
Yep. That's it. I'm ready to complain about it being hot.
That's hilarious. And It's so true.
It's so true.
I am definitely ready.
Yeah, same here.
So before we get into the nitty gritty of your book, let's talk a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Like I said, born and raised in Arkansas. I am married, have a 2-year-old, so very busy with all of that that's been going on. As far as writing, all of that stuff, I've been writing. Gosh, my mom did the whole, let's pull out your old papers and writing things that you did when you were like 7 and let's reread them like before the book was published. And I'd rather not. But no, I didn't even know what to talk about myself. Isn't it such an odd thing to have to talk about yourself?
It definitely can be. But what's one fun or surprising thing that not a lot of people know about you?
My gosh. I have played piano since I was like 5 years old.
Do you still play?
Some. I could get through it. I'll leave it there. I am rusty, but luckily with the extent and the length that I took piano, it kind of is like, I would say riding a bike. There's something fun about me. I can't ride a bike. There we go.
That is fun.
I was going to say piano is like riding a bike, but that would mean it's a train wreck for me, and it is not a train wreck for me. So we'll scratch that there.
So is your husband going to be the one teaching your daughter then?
Yes. And she is dying for a bike for her 3rd birthday. And my husband said, so am I getting you a bike too? And I was like, I guess so. We're all learning together. Yes. I never learned how to ride a bike.
Well, it'll make her feel a little bit more empowered if she can stay on longer than mom.
Yeah. When I have the scraped knees and I'm like bleeding, I'm going to have to send you photos and be like, Tina, look what happened to me today.
Oh, I would laugh.
Me too, when the pain subsided.
Yeah, I would have a sympathetic laugh, of course.
Yeah, I know. You laugh after you know I'm okay.
That's right.
It's fine. Yeah, then it's fine. There we go. I can't ride a bike. There's my fun fact.
So you said you've been writing for forever, but what got you into writing?
As far as the books and everything now that I write, it just was finding inspiration absolutely everywhere. But I have been writing, of course, ever since I was really small. I think the first story book that we found, I made my mom write it for me because I couldn't write yet. So I was very little. But since then it has grown. Yeah, I didn't write much in college outside of the forced papers that I had to turn in and things like that.
Yeah.
But once I graduated college, like I said, started having ideas. The journal and notes in my phone is just covered in different ideas that I have. And funny enough, they weren't fantasy ideas or adult books that I wanted to write. They were all children's books. I was going to be a children's book author, and I still have multiple books in there, like already done, that I've never published. I probably would have to use a pen name now just to kind of separate.
Differentiate. Yeah.
Yeah, to separate the two. But yes, I always wanted to be, or I always wanted to write children's books. So that was something that I was just going to do. I graduated college with a communications degree. So definitely did multiple writing courses, public speaking courses, you name it. But
Cool.
you can see that I had this plan and I was going this way, and then I went this way. And now I am an adult romantasy writer.
That's wicked. And there was another fun fact in there about the fact that you wanted to be
There you
a.
go. Yeah. See,
See,
I
they're
can talk about
everywhere.
myself.
So, what is it about the fantasy genre that keeps calling you back to both being a reader and a writer?
Just my love for it. I have always loved fantasy. I love the worlds, the magic, you name it. It has always been so interesting and cool to me. It really picked up, of course, when I was much younger and watched Lord of the Rings for the first time. My love, I feel like it's like that specific probably series for a ton of people that like altered my brain chemistry, I feel like.
Yeah.
My dad took me to the movie theater to watch the first one. And since then, it has just grown very, very heavily since then. And then, of course, got very into reading in college and picked up fantasy again. And since then, it has just blossomed into I love to watch it. I love to read it. Why wouldn't I try to write it and kind of write the books that I want to read and hopefully watch one day if they got picked up, turns into a movie.
Exactly.
Manifest. Yeah.
Manifest. Exactly. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, it just kind of spiraled from there. So like I said, I've just always really loved fantasy, the magic, the world building. It's all so cool. And it's such a different world than we live in. So it's a nice escape as well.
Yeah. That's the terminology I use all the time because we need it for sure.
Absolutely.
Especially now.
Especially now. We need it. I know. Any kind of escape for sure than I
Yeah.
don't want to say mundane everyday life, but it's a lot more fun to read a fantasy book than it is to unload the dishwasher. So.
I don't know if you plan on having more than one child, but just wait for it.
No, I know. I know. Jury's still up on that one. I don't know. I'm right at the 3-year-old mark and I'm like, ooh, I don't know if bringing another one into this mess would be the move. We'll see. We'll see.
So the title Trials of Darkness is pretty intriguing. Can you share where the inspiration came from for it?
Yes. So I was actually sitting on the couch with my daughter and we had turned on the Disney movie Brave. I don't know if you've seen that one.
Mm-hmm.
So Merida, of course, she is very similarly like my book, forced or, told that she's going to go through with this arranged marriage. And it became one of my favorite movies after watching it with my little one. I'd seen it before her, but watching Disney movies now or movies like that through your child, it's so much fun because they love it and to watch their face. And she was just obsessed with it. And so I kind of started sitting on this idea of, I really love this movie. I would maybe love this movie if there was an adult version, of it or potentially a book. So I just started kind of sitting on the idea. I really drew inspiration from that, especially the trials. There are some trials in that movie, but I, of course, expanded on it. But yeah, inspiration really came from that. And then, of course, I love the trials that are in Harry Potter, Goblet of Fire, different things like that. So I just kind of started pulling inspiration and sat on the idea of, I feel like 5-6 months before I ever even started taking notes in my phone on things. It was just kind of this bug I couldn't get out of my head. So then that's when I said, I love to read it and watch it. Let's try and write it.
That's awesome. So I have to ask, do you create different versions of stories for your daughter?
Day she can read this.
One day. But I mean, different versions when you're telling bedtime stories. Are you reading them or are you telling them?
Telling them mostly. Telling
Yeah.
them mostly. I honestly read her some of the children's books that I've written as well. So that's
Yay.
fun. But
That
yes,
is fun.
it's very random because yes, it's typically after the lamp is already out, that it's pitch black dark and I'm trying to get her to go to bed and she does the whole, can you read me a story real quick? And I'm like, I am not getting up and turning this light on and finding a book that you won't want me to read. So yes, it turns into the once upon a time and it just kind of goes on from there. It always ends with, and then she went to sleep.
That's awesome. So, are there any Easter eggs or hidden nods in your book that only super observant people or people who know you really well would catch?
Absolutely. Absolutely, there are. And that is the most fun part to me, especially when people reach out to me and they're reading it and so I actually have one of my best friends reading book 2 right now, and she's texted me just today, and she was like, "Oh, so and so is a liar," and I was like, "Keep going, like keep," and it's just, I love it. Yes, I have had some people pick up on a few of the Easter eggs that are dropped in book 1 that heavily, heavily hint to things that are going to happen in book 2. They're in there, and even in book 2, it's definitely laying some groundwork for what's going to happen in book 3. And I think that's so fun. Us authors, we're so devious, aren't we? We're like, ha ha ha.
Just wait for this one.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Um, what was the hardest part to write the Trials of Darkness for you? Of course, without any spoilers.
Yeah. As far as the process or hardest, like actual parts to get out or both?
Yeah, let's just go with both.
Okay. Love that. As far as writing it, this was my first book, so all of the above. It was hard. I think you sit down and you think, I can just write this book. It's going to just flow out. I can keep a 400-page book together and not worry about it. And
Yeah.
then you start and you're like, I understand how difficult this is now. So as far as the writing process, everything, it's hard, you guys. It's hard to write a book. It is not easy. But I will say it was so worth it though. I mean, the places that it has led me, the people now that I've met and the fun things like this that I get to do,
Yeah.
the hard work was absolutely, absolutely worth it. The hardest parts for me to write anything kind of gut wrenching, of course, is just like the hardest thing in the world because as you write this story, you fall in love with the characters, even if they are side characters,
Mhm.
it's hard to get rid of anyone. And I definitely get rid of quite a few people in this first book.
Well, that's a good warning.
It's a good warning. It's a good warning. They're trials. Things have got to happen. I
Yeah.
won't say too much, but yes, those are probably the hardest parts. Now, the ones that are the annoying characters, bye. I'll get rid of them all day.
So, were there any moments where the story kind of wrote itself or it went into a different direction from where you planned?
Holy moly. The whole thing. Well, I am not a plotter. Is it a pantser or plotter? Is that what they
Yes, it is.
I am a true definition of a pantser writer. It's so funny because I thought about it the other day and I was like, I'm going to sit down to write at 2 o'clock, write for a few hours and then call it a day. Well, that didn't happen. And I ended up sitting down the next day and me being a pantser, the story, came out and it was fine and flowing. And I thought to myself, I was like, had I sat down the day before at 2 o'clock to write, how different would it be different? Or, I kind
Yeah.
of had that thought because yes, the story pretty much wrote itself. My characters absolutely boss me around and tell me what they're going to do pretty much, which has been so much fun about the process as a whole. Now, book 2, it's kicking me right in the behind because I had to be a lot more of a plotter because I'm like, wait, what happened in book 1? Wait, when did this person get a scar? Oh, wait, when did this? And I'm like, dang it. I gotta be more organized for this book 2. Book 3, oh man, I'm gonna have to have diagrams, chart.
Sticky notes won't cut it.
Oh my God, no, they won't. They won't. They will have to be, hey, maybe organized sticky notes.
Sticky notes.
I'm not going to change overnight. So yeah, I love being the pantser because yeah, it's fun. I never know I do know where it's going to take me. I know the big A, B, C plots.
Yeah, you have the bones.
I have my bones. How we're going to get there, your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah. It's all the connective tissue you got to work on.
I got to work on that connective tissue. Yes. And it has been hard since book 1 is out. I have finished book 2, like I said, but I really can't read what a lot of people say, especially what they think is coming for book 2 and 3. Because I'm like, I can't have any of that sway my decisions of what's going to come because I don't know.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
It's been fun though. It's been
and
fun.
It would be fun. Absolutely. Okay. Who is your favorite character to write and why?
Oh man, that's hard. Okay. So obviously our main character, Briar, she is so much fun to write. She is sassy. She has a bad mouth. I just love that about her. She doesn't do anything that anybody asks her. Her best friends are like, can you do this? And she's like, sure. After I go mess up 12 things over here, she's fun. I love to write her. My second favorite character to write is Oak, definitely. He is just phenomenal. And if you get a chance to read it at the end, you'll be like, oh, Oak. Well, I call him my sweet baby. He's phenomenal. But I love to write the funny ones and then of course the main characters because they're such an extension of myself. And I was telling somebody the other day, I was like, these people, they're real people to me. They live in my head, but they are absolutely real people to me at this point.
Yeah, I can definitely feel that. Mm-hmm. And I think most readers that spend any degree of time, reading a series can feel that too. That they get really connected to the characters for sure.
Absolutely. There are some book series, of course, that I love that I'm like, these people are real. They're like over there hanging out, doing their own thing, their own world. Like they're real. So yes, I agree. It's hard not to get attached to the characters that you spend so much time with. I spend more time with these people than my family half the time now at this point. My 2-year-old knows my book characters. It's funny. I can show her art pictures and she's like, but that's Briar. And I'm like, yeah, it is.
That's awesome.
She's
and
funny.
I've seen some of the artwork. It's pretty nice.
The artists that I've worked with are amazing. My pull to just message them all the time and be like, hi, can you create more for me is very strong, but I gotta watch it.
Yeah, because it's addicting to see them come to life, right?
It's addicting. Yes. Oh my gosh. It's so much fun. I wish I could just have a massive illustration of the entire thing. Maybe that's why I was drawn to kids' books because of the art and the pictures.
Maybe. So when building your world, what surprised you the most about the process?
How in depth that it actually gets, and not even just what you put on the pages that people read, but in depth even in your own mind. So like family trees, all of that, like it is shown somewhat, of course, in the book, parents, things like that. But one thing I definitely have figured out as an author, and I know you know this as well, is how deep the roots truly go and how intense you make everything, which is wonderful. I love it. But I never thought before I was a writer reading it, I'm like, okay, there's this magic level or magic system. We have our people, and that's pretty much the extent of it. Now, being an author on the other side, I'm like, there's this magic system, but there's also all of this underneath it. And there's these people, but there's family trees that we have never seen before or heard. And just the extensiveness. Yes, the history, the extensiveness of everything was very shocking once I started everything. That it's like, wow, I know these people's great grandma's names that will probably never come to light, but like I know them.
Yeah, so it's like, so Yggdrasil, the tree of life. I could be pronouncing it wrong, but it's the image of it where it's got the big foliage on the top, but so many roots and it forms an entire circle. It's very much like that.
I have like a really botched illustration of what I wanted to be. It's right here. Like, look. It's true. It's true. Yeah, this is my old notebook of like all the notes that I took when I was first started writing, and it's very funny. Nothing happened that I had written down. Nothing.
So you do have a magic system in your world?
Yes. Yes. They
Fun.
are shadow wielders and loomer wielders, so light and dark.
What did
Yeah.
you call it? Shadow and what?
Shadow and loomer wielders.
Loomer. Nice.
Yes. There are magic pretty much everywhere. But they use crystals. So it's more I'm trying to explain. Let me just explain this book to you real quick. No, just kidding. They are called witches. They're descendants of powerful gods and great witches. But as time has passed, and kind of their magic has developed into what it is today, they refer to themselves as wielders. And so they're shadow wielders and light wielders, loomer wielders. And they do have an ever present tap that kind of runs through their veins of magic, but it is intensified by ritualistic magic. So that's where kind of the witches plays into it a bit, where they use crystals. It's called regals in this book, and it's different like symbols and stuff that they can draw that can really intensify their magic. And so
Nice.
it is an interesting, it's a fun magic system, I feel
Yeah.
like. And that was so much fun about creating it as well. Because
Yeah.
being fantasy, you can make them have whatever powers you want them to.
Yep. As long as you stick to the rules, you're good to go.
Yeah,
I love it.
I know. It's been fun. But yes, their magic is very cool. The crystals is what is very neat to me. The front of the cover has some crystals on it, and I keep them in my office as well.
So, do you listen to anything when you're writing?
I blast music in my
Have
ears,
fun.
probably too loud or too loud. My older self is probably going to punch my younger self in the face when I get to that age. But yes, I really love classical music. Listen to that quite a bit. Deep. I love a cello. There's another fun fact about me. I'm obsessed with like dark cello music. I think it's so beautiful. But yes, anything classical. And then if I'm going to choose a song for the day that actually has words in it, I just play it on repeat. And then eventually the words like I don't register the words anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Always music though. I can't write in silence.
And do you have any particular songs that are linked to your specific characters?
I have playlists for book 1 and book 2. So that was fun as well. You know, when you're supposed to be writing and then you're just like, I'm going to create an entire playlist instead. Or Pinterest. Yes. I have Pinterest boards. I have playlists, for book 1. The one for book 2 is hidden on Spotify. So nobody go look for it because the title is on there and I have not released the title for book 2 yet. But yes, that has been a lot of fun as well. And to our point, like we said earlier, that just goes into the extensiveness of how much world building and developing that you
Yeah.
do as an author for a story.
Yeah, when that certain song comes on and you just have imagery going on. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So you mentioned that your love of fantasy has never really faltered. What's a particular fantasy read from your childhood and teen years that still sticks with you today?
Of course, Harry Potter. I feel like everybody probably says that. I also didn't just watch Lord of the Rings. I read Lord of the Rings. Also read The Hobbit and loved all of that. And I cannot for the life of me think of the name of the book. And I was talking to somebody about this, but it was a little mouse fantasy book. I'll have to figure out what it is. I'll comment on the Instagram post if you post this and tell everybody Desperado or like something like that. But it was a little mouse. And I remember being obsessed with that little mouse fantasy book. He had a sword. Is it
I
ringing a
think,
bell?
yeah, because I think one of my other people on the podcast referenced him, like maybe the one that just released last week, maybe
Oh,
talked about it.
I'll have to go ask.
But of course, I don't remember it either because I never saw it. But
Yes.
now I'm like super curious.
I know. Now I've just like derailed us and we're just going to be thinking about that the entire time. But yes, it was a few of those books, of course. But honestly, growing up outside of fantasy, what I read was all like horror. I mean, not as a child. I was like a
Yeah.
Goosebumps reader as a child.
Yeah.
But really, when I picked up reading again, it was all thrillers, horror books, things like that. I love scary things. So I really got started back into reading with that.
Yeah.
Then was reintroduced to fantasy, and then that's kind of how everything spiraled.
Who reintroduced you?
One of my best friends, and of course, it was with the whole Sarah J. Maas trend.
I
I
feel
can't
like
say that I'm any different, that I was just like this cool girl that didn't pick up ACOTAR and fall back in love. But like, yeah, I got this bug.
I feel like she deserves a medal for the amount of people she dragged back into the fantasy romantasy realm.
Absolutely. And it's just, yep, she put her claws out and just drug us all
Yeah.
back. And I never went anywhere after that. It just spiraled from there.
Yeah.
In the
So
best
which
way
out of the
possible.
three is your favorite series?
Oh, man. Throne of Glass, for sure.
Yes, I'm the same.
Yeah.
I love the depth of the
Phenomenal.
story. I mean, I love ACOTAR, I really do, but I love the
Yep.
depth of the story for Throne of
Yep.
Glass. I really
It
do.
is such a good series. It is so good. I want to reread it, but it's not a casual reread.
My husband loved it, but he called it slog because it goes on forever.
It's going forever, but it's like, it's slog that I never want to end.
Right?
It's so good.
It really is. And like I said, I loved the depth of those
Yes,
stories.
it's phenomenal. And how young she was when she wrote it.
I know.
Bravo.
Right?
It's so impressive.
So, what was the biggest risk you took while on this journey of being an author?
Boy, I have one. I actually I actually just quit my corporate job.
When?
Yeah.
Like how long ago?
Like a month ago.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thank
It's fun.
you.
It's fun not working for somebody, right?
I miss them dearly. I really do. I was with the company for 6 years. I have some of my best friends from there. So that was such a risk. I mean, it was very scary thing to do. You can tell too my body language. I like curl
Yeah.
up. I'm like, oh, it was very scary. It was the comfortability of it as well. And like I said, I had friends there. So making the decision to leave was not an easy one at all. But I did it, and I have been full-time writing, I say, for a full month and a half, month maybe. So, yes, I mean, my daughter did decide to get the stomach flu and then the flu, so the
Kind
whole
of made up your
full-time
mind for
writing
you.
thing. But yes, that definitely has been the biggest risk so far that I have taken. It was a big step, but it was an exciting one. I'm definitely excited to be able to focus full energy on something that I am so passionate about, which I think is going to be great. I'm going to be able to roll out book 2, work on some other fun projects that are coming down the tunnel, and yeah, focus on that instead of stretching myself so thin to try and do it all. It's
Yeah.
very hard.
I remember when I was writing, when I was working full time, I was getting up at like 5 a.m. so I could have a good 2 hours of writing before I had to go to work. And it sucked.
It's not fun. Yes, there were a few 4 a.m. mornings for me, a lot of after 9 p.m. writings for me. And yes, the first day that I actually got to sit down on a Monday to write, I said, oh my gosh, it is so nice to not be writing at 10 p.m. right now. The sun is up. It's great. I can focus on it. So yes, it will be quite a game changer for sure.
Nice.
Mhm.
That was not what I was expecting when I asked about big risks, because that is a big risk. I love it.
It was a big risk. An exciting risk, but a risk.
Yeah. So being an indie author is a lot of work. How do you balance the creative side of writing with the more logistical business aspects of being an indie published author?
Plan. It has been trial and error for sure. I'm not going to lie. When I first started this process and said, I'm going to publish this book, that was pretty much the first thought of everything. And then from there, it was learning tons and tons of research. And I don't think a lot of people realize, like you said, the amount of work that goes into it. It's not just the creative, sit down, I'm going to write this story and then publish it. You have to market. You have to manage your social media. You have to manage emails. It becomes so much more than you ever truly anticipate it to be. As far as how I'm managing it, just, positive thoughts and prayer at this point.
You're pantsing it.
Tina, you know me. I check my emails in the morning and I write. That's
Perfect.
I am pantsing this. But as I'm going and learning everything, it is just getting easier. I know what to expect now. I feel like ripping the Band-Aid off and just getting that first one out of the way, then you can kind of set things in motion and
Yeah.
everything kind of falls into place after that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Mhm.
So, if you were to be hosting a dinner party, which of your 3 fictional characters would you invite? And what would you be having for dinner?
Okay. For my book, who would I invite? Or can it be any fictional characters? My book? Let's do my book.
Let's do your book. Let's get to know your characters a little.
Okay. Obviously, I would invite Briar. She's our main character. She would be funny. She would provide the snarky attitude. She'd probably be annoyed to be there. I don't feel like that's really her style to want to sit down at a dinner party. She'd be like, I had to put on shoes for this, or she would be annoyed. So it'd be fun. I definitely have already talked about him. I would invite Oak. He is our comedian. He is our golden retriever, loomer wilder. He brings the fun. He can never take anything serious. So he would be there to absolutely annoy everyone in the best way. And then it's hard because I have like 5 main people that I really love. Oh, I feel like they're going to be mad at me if I don't pick them.
So who's going to talk? Who's going to talk to you the most?
Probably Maines would talk to me the most, so I'll pick her. She is a side character. She is Briar's best friend. She is a healer in the kingdom of Darrenbeer. Top healer, I will say. I won't diminish her status that she is. She is also a lot of fun. She's very much brings a light energy. She is a shadow wielder, but she would help keep Briar in check at the dinner party. As far as what we would be eating, it would be something super casual. None of them nor I would want anything fancy. So like we'd probably be like sipping on some white wine and have like, I don't know, tacos. But I don't feel like white wine goes with tacos, but that makes it even better for some reason.
That's perfect.
Yeah, it's just chaos. That's what it would be, and that is what would make it so much fun with those characters.
No weapons at the table.
No weapons at the table. We'd have to get Briar to put her axes down. She'd keep them close though, but no weapons at the table.
So in Trials of Darkness, if it was to get adapted for a movie or a series, which would you pick?
Think a movie.
Okay.
I say a movie. You can tell how
Okay.
sure I am by that answer. Like, I'll say movie. Final
Okay.
answer.
And who's your dream cast? Do you have a dream cast or people that you picture in certain roles?
Oh my gosh. I really haven't played with that idea yet. I feel like it's so hard because I'm like, I have the perfect picture of who it is in my brain. And I don't know if I've fallen like across anybody yet that absolutely
Fits
marks.
that role.
But now I know what I'm going to do with my afternoon and I'll let you know. I'm going to create an entire fan cast.
Well, please don't let me interrupt writing to do that though.
No, it's fine. I wasn't writing anyway.
So what scene or moment in your book would you absolutely never cut, no matter who in Hollywood begged you to cut it?
I would.
If you can tell us without.
Yes, and this one's fine. So obviously the entire premise of the book is Briar being forced into an arranged marriage by her father, the king of Darrenbeer. And very similarly to Brave, Briar decides that she does not want to do that. She wants to fight for her own hand, her own honor. She wants to be in control of her future and her destiny. During the first trial is when she makes her stance and announces to everyone that she will be competing in the trials alongside the men competing for her. Pretty much puts her foot down. She makes the announcement in front of the entire kingdom, her father, all of the men competing. So it's kind of a you can't go back from here moment. And it really kind of sets the entire book into motion and kind of when really the chaos starts happening because everybody's like, oh my God, she's going to do this. Obviously, her father is very upset with her massive declaration that she had made. So that's absolutely one part that couldn't pry that part out of my hands. It's such a good moment.
If you want me, you got to best me first.
Absolutely. That part would go nowhere. It's such a pivotal, important part to it just badass, honestly. I want to be like her.
I can feel that. What has been, in your opinion, the most surprising or rewarding part of sharing your writing with the world? I think you kind of said that you're avoiding some of the comments about the writing just as far as what it might do for your second book. But do you have any surprising or rewarding parts about sharing?
Honestly, the connection that I have made with people in the book community, it is such a fun, tight-knit community to be a part of. And before I really got into reading, I really didn't know that there was this space to be creative and find people with such similar passions as you. So that has been amazing to be now immersed in this world of, the book community, and also to the friends that I have made, as well as connecting with people after they have read my book. Of course, the ones that love it, and just hearing their general thoughts and how, my book means so much to them now, and how excited they are to continue the series and how they love the characters. It's been so rewarding. And also too, it's an odd feeling kind of, because I'm like, it's just me. It's just my book, it's been imposter syndrome, man. It's been so exciting and rewarding though to meet everybody that has loved the book and now has cherished the book, and it's become one of their favorite books. That's been absolutely the best part, is the connection that I've made with so many people.
That's awesome. And do you have a favorite fan moment, one that just stands out?
Yeah, maybe not one that stands out, but I love it when they slide into my DMs and just like yell at me about something. I think it's so funny. Oh my gosh, if something happens to him, all of the fun moments like that, I love it. I love any fan interaction like that. If they slide in there and yeah, I will say, and she'll know who she is. I had somebody threaten to curse my family if I hurt one of the main characters that she loved. It was all fun and games, of course, but
Of course,
it's
yeah.
just hysterical. And now she actually has become a friend of mine and is beta reading the second book. So it worked out for her in her favor.
That's awesome.
The threat made me fall in love with her. I was like, I need you on my team. She won. She won that trial. Yes, please don't threaten my family. But I love it. I love it. It was wonderful.
So are there any exciting plans brewing for you? You kind of alluded a little bit to some stuff in the hopper, but what do you got? If you can talk about it.
Of course. 2, like I said, is finished. The first draft is done. It's with beta readers, so that is in the works. I feel like that is very exciting. And I feel like finishing book 2 was more exciting than maybe finishing book 1, because I'm like, I've written 2 books now. I need to pat on the back. So next up for me, exciting, is just continuing with the series. This is going to be 4 books total. So a lot more to do. A lot more to do. And of course, in all of the spare time that I have right now, I have started another project that I hope to get that first draft going as well.
Wicked. And is it in the same genre?
Yes.
Ish.
Darkish.
Okay, so dark romantasy this time around.
Yes. Definitely dark. I haven't decided, you know me, my pantser. I haven't decided how fantasy it's going to be. So we'll see. Dark romance for sure.
Okay.
TBD on the fantasy
Okay.
aspect of everything.
That's
I'll let
fun.
you know, because I don't know either right now. I have it pulled up right here and I'm a whopping 1,500 words into it right now. So,
Well, that's a good start.
I mean, yeah, kind of.
So how long did book 1 take you to do?
Oh, goodness. Book 1, when I actually sat down to write it, I feel like I typed obsessively at night at the 4 a.m. or 9 p.m. that we talked about. From end of January, I think I finished in April.
Okay.
I'd say February to April.
And book 2?
What month is it? January, I finished early March. It was faster.
Much faster. Good for
Much
you.
faster. And it's much longer. I'm not sure how I did that, but I did. I'm tired.
Time for a little break.
Time for a break. No, I'm like, why not start a brand new project?
So, where can listeners best connect with you and find your books?
Best connection for me is definitely Instagram. And I say that because that's pretty much the only social media platform that I have. I have not dabbled in the TikTok or anything yet. And I said the TikTok. The TikTok. I sound like my mom. Definitely Instagram. That is where all of my stuff is typically posted. I, of course, have all of the links in my bio, but Trials of Darkness is available on Kindle Unlimited. You can purchase through a smaller indie bookstore, the Crafty Bookstore. All of that, like I said, is in my bio though. And then also copies are available on Barnes and Noble.
Do you want to show us that gorgeous book? You said this one's about 400 pages, you said, right? Look at that. It's a gorgeous
It
cover.
is so pretty. And here you can see too, there's the little crystals I was showing you. It looks just like the one on my desk. Yeah,
Nice.
there's the back. Yeah, it's very, very pretty. Very pretty. I love the cover designer that I worked with, and she's going to be doing book 2 for me very soon, and I cannot wait. I'm like foaming at the mouth wanting to get the cover for this next one. So bad.
I can't wait to see the reveal. How fun
yeah.
was it to open the box when you got the box with those books in it?
It was so much fun. It was so much fun. And then again, it was like a pinch me moment where I'm like, wait, is this really my book? Did I really do this? And it's like you just stare at it for a second.
Look at it.
Like,
my name's on it. Look at
I
it.
did this. Yes, I did it. It's me. That's me. Yeah, it was fun. But yes, the hardback version, it is bigger. It's about 330-ish pages. Paperback, 390 something. But yeah, average is about 400 close to pages.
Wicked. That's awesome.
Yep.
I love this. This was a great chance to talk, and I'm actually really excited. That's what I was talking about earlier, that my TBR just keeps growing because of all of the authors that I get to talk to, and getting to experience their world through their eyes really does open it up for me. So I really appreciate getting the opportunity to talk with you and getting to see things from your perspective.
Yeah, it was so fun. I hope we can do this again. Book 2, we'll have to reconvene.
Absolutely. We got to and of course, with the new project, whatever that may be.
Yeah. Just add me to the roster and we'll just keep it going.
Sounds fun. That's awesome. So thank you again for joining us. And this is available on all your different channels for watching your podcast on YouTube and all your different socials. So I really look forward to chatting with you again.
Thank you.